You just tuned it in. Global and worldwide. Hit you on the one with no delay. Because it's the Fighter's Voice. The Fighter's Voice. With your fighting host, Richard Ortiz. And the formidable co-host, Mr. Cole Escovedo. Remember, every fighter has a voice.
Fresno, California. We're live here in Mad Production Studios. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of the Fighter's Voice Knockout Podcast. Today joining me is our guest co-host, Omar Godinez. I want to make sure I say it right, man.
You always say it right, but you always ask me the same thing.
Well, you know what? As a ring announcer, I always want to make sure I say it just like your mama says it. It has to be perfect, man.
I don't know if it's ever going to be the same. You know, your mom always has a different way of saying your name.
Exactly. I don't want to call you pendejo or any of that other stuff,
That's when you know you're in trouble, though.
Oh, exactly. I was just talking to somebody about that the other day, too. Actually, I was talking to my daughter. I was telling my daughter, hey, when you, my granddaughter, when she calls for you, she says, mama. Mm-hmm. But when she says mommy, that means she's trying everything to get your attention, so be aware of that.
She's trying to get the full attention.
Exactly.
There's something that's wanted.
Exactly. Like my ex-wife, she'll say, babe. And then she goes, Richard. I already knew he was on.
You already knew you were in trouble for something.
Exactly.
You didn't even know what you did yet.
I know. Well, I was about to do something, so who knows, man? Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a great show for you today. We're going to talk about some news that's been popping off that we can actually go official and talk about it. We've hinted about it. And also some news with Tyson Fury. And as you know, we're going to talk about Mike Tyson. The fight has been postponed, but it's a good thing because they are taking this very serious and they want to give the viewers, the fans, and everybody there their best. When I say their best, I want to make sure the cards are taken care of. Their undercards, they're putting the big names on there. And also we got some action this weekend. We got Rolly Romero on the card, and then also David Benavidez will be defending his belt, a tough opponent. I'm going to talk about UFC. We're going to go into it not too hardcore because we're going to say that tomorrow with our UFC expert co-host, Escovedo. And hey, man, your questions and your comments, man, we welcome them and we appreciate them. And first of all, welcome to the show, Omar. How's everything going, man?
Everything's good, man. I kind of missed out on the boxing world this weekend.
Yeah.
But I've been trying to catch up and everything, and I learned that the Mike Tyson fight got postponed till November.
Yeah.
So what do you think that does about September 12th, being that was Canelo's original date?
Well, see, a lot of people that's been out of the loop, they think that he's still fighting that day.
Right.
And that is a day that's actually going to waste. I don't want to say going to waste because Kilo the Kid Madero will be fighting on there, but he'll be fighting in Mexico along with his brother Hector Madera.
Gotcha.
So it kind of works out for him, honestly, because going heads up with the Mike Tyson card, because he'll be streaming there, and I'll get all that information to all the 209 supporters. But it does a lot because those dates are going to waste, man. When I say the waste, those are the dates that we capitalize. But right now with boxing the way it is and MMA, any date that's live, we'll take it right now.
Exactly. We don't care what day it is. We don't care if it is. I mean, obviously we do want the Mexican Independence Day, but we'll take whatever day we have.
Exactly. I mean, I just want to see some live boxing. I want to see an equal matchup because you got to remember, these promoters, they're very tentative right now because they're not going to take a loss. Yeah. I know your value, Omar. I know what you're worth. But again, that's based on revenue, live gate. That's based on sales of T-shirts. That's based on even the popcorn, the beer, like we're having today. Shout out to the beer. And this is actually a shout out to Jose Ramirez, who signed a great deal with Corona. Oh. Thanks to Rick Morrigan, and we'll get into that right now.
There you go.
So Jose Ramirez, this is for you, my man, and Rick doing all the work behind the scenes.
There you go. We'll both take a drink.
Yeah, salute. Only thing missing is the lemon, but it's okay.
It's all right. They didn't have any at the store.
Oh, they didn't?
Not lime. No.
they didn't, huh? Little do they know that we're going to have a drink later on. A late birthday gift. I appreciate that, Omar.
And whose birthday?
Oh, it passed already, man. It's birthday month,
I know,
baby. It was the 3rd, man.
You're not gonna say the age or anything like that. We don't say
that. Well,
I
mean, I've been 69 for the last 20 years. Yeah, so I'll take that, right?
There you go.
I'll take that. Speaking of birthdays, I'm going to take this time right now.
Oh, there you go.
A late happy birthday to the WBA featherweight and also the WBA super featherweight champion, Leo Santa Cruz, man. Celebrating a birthday today. There he is right there, chilling with some dude, good friend of his, man.
That is a good dude.
Oh, he's a very good dude, down to earth, man.
That is. And I'm excited to see that fight with him and Gervonta. I think.
Yeah, well, let's jump into that. Let's jump into that.
Who do you favor?
You know, there's a lot of ifs and buts.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I see that fight with different chapters into that fight.
Right.
When I say that, I always look back at Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. There was different chapters in that fight.
Mm-hmm.
There was early on, there was the middle rounds, and there was the late rounds. And these guys were able to adapt and reinvent themselves in the middle of the fight. So I can see Davis giving Santa Cruz all that he can handle early. But I'm going to tell you this. If Davis can't get him out of there in the first 6 rounds, I look for him to be taken into deep waters. When I say that, to actually have an opponent in front of him that welcomes that inside fighting, that welcomes that tenacity, that welcomes that, hey, I'll take one to give you one.
I think one of the main issues with this fight is going to be, does Tank even make weight?
I was about to talk about that right now.
And if he makes weight, which is a big if,
mm-hmm.
those legs are gone. Like you said, if he doesn't take him out within 5-6 rounds,
yeah.
those legs of Tank's, they're going to be worn out because of that weight loss.
Yeah.
Now, if he doesn't make weight, does the fight even happen?
See, I don't want to hear, okay, well, the belts ain't at stake because I didn't make weight. Listen, man, you're a professional.
Mm-hmm.
You've had the heads up to make the weight. I understand that it is a concern for everybody. And sometimes, Omar, you just outgrow the division. You really
Right.
do. I mean, your body can no longer make that weight because it's matured and it no longer wants to be a part of that division.
Right.
Let's talk about Mikey Garcia.
Right.
I mean, he did everything that he could. A lot of people forget he had to pull out of a fight in the middle of an elevator. He passed out on the way to the fight.
Threw up.
Yeah,
Threw up there,
exactly.
yeah.
And couldn't lose weight. He was working out, was dry, and he knew he had to take some time off. And that was no longer the weight for him because it became very dangerous for him.
That's why that dream fight with him and Loma will never happen, because it would have to happen at 135, and Mikey's not making 135.
No, and a lot of people call that the money weight because it's only for money, and I can see that. But at 135, you're asking for a lot. Mikey is developing into legitimate 147-pounder, although I think and I know he has some unfinished business at the 140-pound division.
There's a lot of things going on at 140.
There is.
But going back to the other fight, do you think Leo engages? Because Leo is a volume puncher. Do you think he engages, or do you think he's going to try to box Gervonta and then wear him down to the 5th, 6th round, then take over from there?
A lot of fighters, they want to impose their will right off the bat and let you know. But see, Leo Santa Cruz, he can adapt, and he has different styles. If he wants to take it to you, he will.
Right.
But he's naturally a counterpuncher. He's naturally, you hit me, I'm going to hit you twice.
Right.
Volume puncher. And let's not forget about Davis. He does have that power. So I see him being very elusive, but at the same time pressuring him. I don't see Santa Cruz backing up at all.
I think if Leo follows the game plan, which I do believe the game plan is going to be to box a little bit more during the early rounds, only because he's got the reach advantage. Tank's a small guy.
Yeah.
Tank's a small, big guy.
Yeah. Very stout.
But exactly, and he's just so much shorter than Leo, and the arms are so much longer than Leo. He's got the reach advantage. If Leo's able to keep him away with that jab for those first couple of rounds, it should get very interesting later on. But will Leo do that? Because Leo likes to fight.
Yeah, he does.
We saw what happened when he fought Ramirez, and they engaged. They engaged all 12 rounds, or all 24 rounds actually.
Well, there's certain fighters you want to engage with,
Yeah.
and he'll know right off the bat when he feels a different pop.
Yeah.
And I believe honestly, that fight, Leo Santa Cruz is going to get hit harder than he's ever been hit in his whole life. Somewhere in that fight, and he'll be able to adapt, I believe.
I don't think he's ever been dropped. Do you think he gets dropped in this fight?
You know what? There's a lot going on in this fight. There's a lot of ifs and buts. I'm looking at the weight cut, and I'm looking to see who makes weight.
I can't wait. We're watching it at my house. You're watching it on the big screen.
Well, let's go, man.
Let's do it.
We're going to make that happen there. And that's going to be one of those fights where it comes down to the weigh-in. It comes down to the walkout. I mean, I know who I'm pulling for. I'm pulling for the underdog, which is Leo Santa Cruz, because Davis is the naturally big fighter at all, and the stronger fighter. But I do want to see some. I do want Davis to be successful too, because I do want to see him against Ryan Garcia and put that to rest too. But whenever Leo Santa Cruz comes to fight, that's exactly what it is. He comes to fight. He never leaves anything at home. He leaves it all in the ring.
Well, we'll see what that weight difference does to Leo, since he's never fought that high. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. But speaking of Davis, man, I mean, Floyd Mayweather is right up in his grill, making sure he does everything right as a professional should do. Oscar De La Hoya said it best. He said, "A professional never walks around 5 pounds over." I know that's
Right.
very easy to say than to do, because you're talking about some big men, and these guys live lives, But come fight time, you really don't want to put your life at risk.
I guess it's the thing of stay ready, so you don't have to get ready, right?
Well,
So-
exactly. Well, these young contenders, they all need to stay ready, because
Yeah.
they can just get that phone call at any time, and be careful what you ask for.
Especially when you're holding a belt, you have to stay ready.
Exactly, and especially be careful what you ask for.
Yeah.
I want to talk about that Mike Tyson, how it's been rescheduled again,
Mm-hmm.
postponed, with Roy Jones Jr. Along the way, Fresno Zone, Jet Blackwell from Fresno, California, out of Alamon's gym right there. He's only 19 years old. He got the phone call, man. He said, "Hey, I need some movement. I need a young heavyweight. I need lateral movement. I need to be pressed." And they called the right kid. This kid right here is going to be an awesome professional. He's getting ready to make his professional debut as we speak. I mean, they're negotiating. When's it going to be? Is it going to be in November? Rumor has it may be on the undercard. Rumor has it there's a lot of different promoters that are seeking this young individual, because we all know the Tulare assassin and Richard Torres Jr. I mean, he's waiting things out too. But we have a lot to offer, and those two guys, those are very good athletes, and iron sharpens iron. And when I say that, it's because they're always working out together. But let's get back to Frank Alamon, from Frank Alamon's Boxing right there. See, a lot of times I'm asking Frank, he wears a lot of hats. Are you trainer? Are you a promoter? Are you manager? And he said it best. He says, "I'm what I need to be."
Everything.
What I need to be.
Exactly.
I mean, of course he would welcome, hey, if there was a trainer, another trainer, a chief second, when I can always be there, because he's trusted other trainers before. To come in, because a lot of times he's with his amateurs all across the world getting ready for the Olympic trials, and he'll have a professional fighter like Kevin Mendoza who's fighting like in Bakersfield, and he had another trainer there. So it's the trust, but I mean, he's all over, and a lot of people are recognizing Frank Alamon's gym as a genuine, legitimate boxing, I want to say academy, but boxing club, and also bringing some big professionals out of there.
It's nice to have something here that I consider it local. Even Bakersfield, I consider anything in Central Valley considered local, right?
Well, the main thing is that what I will say about Frank is we've had a lot of them that have just the wind blew. And then, hey, along the ways they go. But longevity, he's been the most consistent, so I will say that. It continues to put shows on, continues to be part of the California Boxing Association, and he has a nice professional in his hands with the Jet Blackwell. And, sky's the limit for this young man.
You imagine training with Iron Mike?
Bro, can you imagine? I just wanted to
I don't
be
care
there.
what age he is. I would just like to get in there.
Well, see, there was a quote, because when Mike Tyson asked him, "Hey, how old are you?" So when he said 19, Mike turned it around on him and said, "Okay, imagine 19 years old fighting for the title. No pressure at all, right?"
Youngest heavyweight champion, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Mike's giving him a story and just letting him know, man. I mean, bro, to have that in your resume, to share the ring with Mike Tyson. I've actually been in the ring with Mike Tyson, but not fighting. My mom and myself were in there when we met him after he did the Larry King show live. He was interviewed when he was released from being incarcerated, right before the Peter McNeely fight. So me and my mom were both inside of the ring, so I can say I was in the ring with him. I can actually say that.
I know. I don't want to get in the ring with him. I'll get in the ring with him like that. And I don't want to get in the ring with him with gloves.
Yeah. No, absolutely, man. But I mean, he's an icon, man.
Yeah.
And he's still arguably one of the baddest dudes alive. To reinvent himself and say, "Hey, let's make this happen," they can say what they want about an exhibition. I'm tired of people saying, "Okay, well, let's get right to it. It's not an exhibition."
Right.
I mean, and it's an exhibition. These guys got so much pride on the line. They've been doing it for so long. In front of the masses, they know who's looking.
Yeah.
Iron Mike got himself in great shape and condition. Roy Jones called them out. Be careful what you ask for, and he got the date. These guys are going to be swapping. First of all, no headgear.
Well, are they still going with the no headgear? Are they doing headgear? Do we not?
I'm hearing the word I got was no headgear and 10-ounce gloves.
Okay, so everything. I guess everything.
They're not
changes
balloons. They're not 12-ounce. They're not
12.
14. No,
Okay.
they're 10-ounce.
So the last I heard was no headgear, and then I hear headgear, so I don't know exactly.
What I got is no headgear, but they put a clause in the contract: no man can get knocked out.
I guess not until.
How can you control your jab or that left hook when it's muscle memory?
Exactly, and those guys have tons of muscle memory.
Oh yeah, they do. They do. But you know what? A big plug for Fresno, California, Frank Alamon and Blackwell.
Jet.
Yeah, Jet, because they've even been asked during it, even that is postponed, that they welcome him back for training camp.
Right.
Come November. So I hope things unfold, and I'd like to see Jet make his pro debut on Mike Tyson undercard. I mean, just to say that I made my pro debut on the undercard of Mike Tyson.
Speaking of the undercard, Badu Jack, I just saw that he's going to be on the undercard.
Yes,
Badu Jack.
Exactly.
I did want to see that rematch, though, with him and Pascal, but I guess it's not happening.
Well, I do too, but you know what? There's a beast around here, man.
Yeah.
In Sacramento, California, an undefeated beast who believes in himself. He has a team that believes in him. And we can now make it official because we've heard a rumor about this fight happening.
Mm-hmm.
And Blake McCurlin, man,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he gets the call.
There it is.
I mean, this is the biggest fight of his life, of his career. This is a true Rocky story, the opportunity.
He's going to, hopefully he can, if he gets through this guy, he's getting through somebody from the Mayweather gym.
Well, and not only that, he's fighting a former WBC super middleweight champion and a former WBA light heavyweight champion. So this guy didn't just fight for the bout. He's a former two-time champion.
And it won't be easy. Badu's a warrior. Do you remember that fight he had with that cut on his forehead?
Badu has a great jab.
Yeah, he does. He's and he's at the right gym too. He's got a bunch of he's got tons of experience around him.
Oh,
to
he does,
guide him through.
And he throws punches in volume. I like the way he presses forward with his legs, and this is a great opportunity for Blake. Again, like I just said earlier on the show, be careful what you ask for. Blake always waited for this opportunity. He kept his faith. There was times when you hit a speed bump in your career, but he's always been in tremendous shape. He's always been believing in himself, and he's not shy as far as his confidence in himself.
This is a good fight, regardless whether he wins or loses. It's a good fight, especially if he puts up a really good performance.
Exactly.
It's almost like when Otto Wallin fought Tyson Fury and almost beat him. He lost the fight, but he gained so much from that fight where now people want to see him fight,
Without throwing anybody underneath the bus, first of all, hats off for Blake accepting the fight. Because we've had some locals and turned down big opportunities, decent paychecks, and to say, hey, you're basically coming in here. You're not the A side. We all know that. Blake's not the A side on this, but he has 2 fists and he has an undefeated record, which means he believes in himself. Puts his shoes on just like
the same way.
Exactly.
They both
just
bleed,
like Jack.
They both bleed the same too. So.
Exactly, man.
Yep.
So what I'm saying is, first of all, for accepting the fight. And now that it's postponed, gives him even more time for conditioning and to get that rust out and that determination that he has. You got to remember, I don't want to use the word former because they're never a former Marine. Once a Marine, always a Marine. So he has that work ethic. He has that fearless heart in him, and he's fighting for a lot of. He was supposed to call me back earlier, and I was just going to tell him, not to put any pressure, but I'm going to keep it real. I was going to tell him, when you step into that ring, we're all with you, whether you like it or not.
Is he training in SEC?
I believe he's in Sacramento.
Okay.
I don't know where he's at and what he's going to be doing, but I've been hearing rumors that he may stop by Robert Garcia's. I heard he may stop by Freddie Roach. I heard he may stop with Abel Sanchez, and those are all legitimate camps. Now, I don't see him leaving his trainer at all. That's not what I'm saying.
Right.
But he knows this is an opportunity that he can never get back, an opportunity that can never be topped. Right now, he has to do what's best for Team Blake.
Maybe for sparring purposes, he can leave the area. Yeah.
Possibly, because, you're going to need all the sparring, all the training. And this is it. This is what you dreamed about.
Speaking of, that's light heavyweight, but speaking of...
they'll be fighting at cruiserweight.
Oh, cruiser.
Yes,
Speaking of let's go down 2 divisions and let's speak of our boy, David Benavidez.
This Saturday, David Benavidez, my man.
I'm excited.
Yeah, he's always been a classy dude, man. And, whenever I mention the name, around him, Kilo the Kid Madera or Hector Madera, he stops what he's doing. It's, oh, man, that's my family. Those are my homies right there.
Yeah.
And, he stopped, gave me a thumbs up for Richie. I was talking to him on he was at the press conference for, Manny Pacquiao and Keith Thurman were fighting.
Right.
But they had a press conference that day for the Spence and
Porter.
Yeah, and Porter, Sean Porter. And he was there, he was hanging out, and he was doing his thing. He was on the undercard and just, talking to everybody that was there. He has a big fight coming up this Saturday.
He does, and I'll tell you what, I think, who do you think is the top guy at 168? I think it's David. Now, let's leave Canelo out of there, because I don't think we don't know where he's at. We don't know if he's at 160, 168, 175. We don't know where he's at.
I've never heard, and I'm not saying they're shying away from it, the Canelo camp mention David Benavidez.
No.
They
don't. They stay away from that name for now.
No, they do. But you know what? As a promoter, it needs its due respect. It needs its promotion. It needs its tour. As a fan, I just want to see it happen.
Right. And you have a lot of talent there. You have Caleb Smith.
Yes.
You have Caleb Plant, who's slick.
Oh my gosh.
Slick as hell.
You know what? I talked to him in Las Vegas on the rematch of Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, and
they don't like each other.
Well, this is what I said. I said, well, what makes you think I'm a Carnelo fan? Because he goes, I got something for Carnelo. And I'm okay. What makes you say that? Just because
right?
Because I'm Mexican or what?
Right.
I'm not saying that. And he just kind of smiled. I said, hey man, I like a slick fighter. I really do. But that's not afraid to go inside. I said, I told him that would be a good fight. I see you giving him some fits. And I said, just stay away from that body attack. He goes, you already know. He said, but I got something for him.
Well, that's what David said about Caleb. David said he wants to break his ribs with body shots.
That would be a great fight too.
I think so too.
168 is fire.
And you know what? A lot of people want to go with Plant because he's so slick,
and has power.
But and I heard a comparison between, well, look how slick Ward was when Andre Ward was when he fought Sergey Kovalev. The thing about the difference here is that David is young, and he's got some legs underneath him. Kovalev was already towards the end of his career, but David, not only does he have tremendous speed, but he has, and he stands a little straight, but he's young. And Caleb is a lot more slick, a little bit more boxing skills maybe, but I think Benavidez takes that.
Well, I'll tell you what, if Benavidez don't stop him and get him out of there, I can see LaPlante winning his decision.
Yeah.
Just by out-slicking him and just, that's a good fight. That's a good fight to happen. I also like to see him and Canelo fight.
But obviously we still need David to get through this Saturday.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Let me tell you a story about this. My man Aaron from Grizzly Fest, he had eyes on David Benavidez before anybody knew he was a David Benavidez. You got to remember, he was a young kid, overweight. He got into boxing actually to shed some pounds. He called a certain promoter, right, who's promoting now and has a world champion, the opportunity. He said, hey, man, I got this kid down here. You got to take a look at him. He's whipping everybody's ass inside the gym. They happened to be at Wildcard Gym at the time, and he was sparring with the Ghost. Man, no, not Robert.
Kelly.
Yes,
Kelly Pavlik.
Yeah, Kelly Pavlik. And, he was getting the upper hand, holding his own, so to speak. This young kid, and heavyweight, but just shedding some weight, letting his hands go. And he says, you got to take a look at this kid. I don't know exactly what the conversation was, but the promoter said, no, I'm good. I'm good.
He probably just took the first look at him,
Passed up on that. No, but Aaron was calling him and say, dude, you need to get down here now. Take a look at this kid.
Okay.
Before he was signed with PBC, before he was with anybody. So, there's always that rawness, and there's always that opportunity that everybody gets, and some people just pass it up. And, I don't know what the situation was with the promoter at the time. Maybe he was in a meeting or focused, but when your right-hand man calls you and says, you need to get down here, that means all bets are off. You need to get down here.
And he missed out on David.
He's not signed.
Yeah.
He doesn't belong to anybody. And look where he's at now.
Yeah, he missed out on David.
What David has is he has those big thighs. And he sits down on his power, and his power comes naturally. And the simple fact that he's young enough to still make 168s.
Right.
A year from now, he's going to be fighting for the light heavyweight championship.
Absolutely. And he was like
title.
He was like 270 pounds before, right?
Yeah, big kid.
Yeah, he's a big dude.
He's still a big dude.
And he's got all that power, like you said, all that power in his legs.
His legs, exactly.
He's a star. He's a star. I mean, he's not only selling out in he can sell out Phoenix, but he can obviously in his hometown.
Yes.
But I think he can go anywhere and capture a pretty good audience,
Yeah.
So we'll see where this we'll see what happens after this Saturday. And
hey man, you know what? There's going to be more eyes glued to him than even a pay-per-view match, because anytime there's a boxing match nowadays, everybody's into it. We have MMA fighters that love boxing. Evander Holyfield is now watching UFC only because there's nothing else on.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, and he runs his own Twitter. he makes comments and he just loves what he sees, because America, us, you, myself, we're itching for combat right now, crowd or no crowd.
Anything. We're just, when ESPN started putting those shows on Tuesdays and Thursdays, I was like, thank God somebody's doing something about this, But I know now they moved it, to Saturdays or Fridays or Saturdays, but I was just happy to see anything, and we talked about this last time where those Tuesdays and Thursdays shows got a lot of exposure for the guys who would never
a bunch of local kids.
Yeah.
They got the opportunity to fight and make a name for themselves. But no, I'm rooting for David Benavidez only because there's some big fights out there for him. He's very exciting. He's a star attraction, and I like to see him in there with Canelo. Ramirez, who's now at a light heavyweight. I mean, that's another good fight. I don't know the situation, but I know he's looking to opt out of Top Rank. And when I say that with not knowing all the facts.
I think he's in the process now, right? He's on his way out.
Yeah. Something to that effect.
Right.
I don't like to talk out of my ass, unless I know, because I know these guys. I don't want to get a text from Evan or Brad Goodman saying, Richard, what the hell are you doing?
What are you saying? What are you saying over there?
Exactly. But it's all good, man. They could feed me the info if they want to. But no, if you're not happy, man, you got to be happy wherever you're at. Speaking of not happy,
I know where you're going with this.
My gosh, Regis Prograis.
Yep. There he is.
I'm hearing longtime Lou DiBella promoter that they're parting ways, but they're doing it with class.
Yeah,
they're not bad mouthing anybody. They're none of this getting on Twitter and they're going back at themselves, because you got to remember they're both a professional boxer and a professional promoter.
I hope it stays that way. I just saw this today, today or yesterday, I can't remember, but Lou DiBella has had him for a long time now. But it seems like they're good. Regis put out a tweet saying that Lou will always be family, and I just hope it stays that way, because Lou seems like a good guy, and Regis seems like a really good dude.
He did a good job on Creed too. No, it was Rocky Balboa, right?
Yeah.
No, he did a good job too. And actually, Regis did a great job getting his ass kicked on his movie. What was the name of that movie? Hello, back there.
I'm picking.
What's it called?
I'll look it up. I'll tell you.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Regis was on there, man. He just, threw a little flurry, but then he fought some big dude and got tossed.
Hey, it was a movie though, right?
Hey, exactly, man. I mean, these guys are getting opportunities and their careers blowing up.
Where do you want to see Regis go?
Well, all the fire, and I'm going to take the words out of Christina Potcher herself. She said, well, all the fires, where all the fire is at 140?
At 140.
And that's TR all day long. Top ranked boxing, man. They control and they have all the assassins at 140 pounds.
Now, does he stay at 140?
Oh, he's going to stay at 140. I had a personal conversation with him, and if he wasn't going to stay, he would have took the Maurice Hooker fight.
Right.
Even though he didn't like the terms that we agreed at 143, now all of a sudden you want to opt out and stay at 147. But he knows pride doesn't mean anything. Families need to get fed. Right. He doesn't want to go up there, according to him, let his body adapt to it and then shock it to go all the way down. Because once it starts going up there, it starts to adjust, it starts to adapt, and no longer wants to go down.
I think if he wants all the big fights, all the big money fights at least, he needs to go to Top Rank. Who's at PBC that he would be interested in at 140? I think everybody's over here.
Well, at 140s, it's all Top Rank boxing.
Yeah.
At 147s, PBC, man, they have all the champions there.
Right.
Who was it? What movie was that?
Spencer Confidential.
Spencer?
Yeah, Spencer.
Spencer Confidential?
Yeah.
Or Mark Wahlberg, Marky Mark.
Maybe. I didn't watch it.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah, it's pretty good. It's actually a real good movie, and Regis did a great job. I told him that. He was like, thanks, dog.
Thanks, dog.
Yeah.
He's got that the southern stuff.
Oh, man, he does. Wrestling alligators and stuff. And, we were just talking about that, keeping it real and just, he loves it. You know what? He is what he is. He's a man that lives for today. But he is definitely a family man, loves his wife, loves his kids, loves his daughter, his mama.
His mom bought her house.
Bought his mama a house.
Yep. Bought her house
Just
cash.
hand over the keys. Exactly.
Yep.
He said, I'll wait for the principal. No, I want my mom to hold the deed in her hand.
I'll still remember that. Somebody put that tweet out. And it was funny because it was, I believe he was wrestling the alligators, and somebody just put, that boy different. And it's true.
Yeah, exactly. Well, actually, what got my attention was there's a scene on there, and, I'll go ahead and plug Big Five Sporting Goods. They're not a sponsor of us, but they can be. He's inside the store, and he's with his right-hand man. I think it's a friend of his or a cousin. They put the gloves on, the ones that you just take out, and they started sparring. They were right in there, and his buddy got behind like one of the aisles and landed a body shot on Regis, and then Regis laid hands on him. Inside the store, you see security coming in, you see the guy behind the register, hey guys, but
he's like, if you want to do this, we'll do it.
Bro, can you imagine being in the store and you just see you see a legitimate world champion in there sparring? I'll welcome it. You know,
I'll go in there and get punched by him too.
Exactly,
It's all right.
exactly, man, exactly. But no, you know, they're doing it with class. He understands. Regis wants to be the champion once again at 140 pounds.
Yeah.
He has some unfinished business with Josh Taylor, and I get it. He put on a good fight. It wasn't like he got stopped and it was one-sided, you know. And a lot of people think that he has this thing with Jose Ramirez.
Yeah.
He really doesn't. Jose happens to have a belt, and I want the belt.
Exactly. And
But that hatred or difference, it's real.
But I think they respect each other. You know?
At the end of the day, you have to. Every fighter does.
And everybody has to remember that. He fought Josh Taylor in his country.
Exactly.
You know, let's do it here. Let's do it again. I'll watch it again.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly.
I'll watch it again. I'll watch him fight Taylor. I'll watch him fight Ramirez.
Speaking of that, I think when if everybody gets past what they're supposed to do, and I'm not disrespecting Wildcard Jim or
Victor Postol.
No, Postol at all, period. I'm not. But when Jose does, or if he gets that opportunity to fight for the undisputed titles, I don't see him having a problem going to the UK at all.
Yeah, I don't think he cares.
No, he doesn't.
I think he prefers to stay here. Yeah, I think he prefers to stay local. You know, LA, Vegas, New York.
Well, let me tell you that. Okay. Vegas, New York, yes, I can I can see that. You got to remember, Jose, he loves Fresno. He does, and he'll do whatever it is for Fresno. But in order to be worldwide, he's willing to go make those trips. That's why he went with Manny Pacquiao down to the Philippines to become his sparring partner, to get his name out there, and also, hey, iron sharpens iron. I'll keep saying that. You know, to spar with one of the best at the time. And Jose is not afraid to get out of his comfort zone.
Yeah.
To put the pressure on himself. You got to remember, when he went to Maurice Hooker's backyard, whatever it took, he went to his backyard went to another network, signed with DAZN just for that fight. Whatever it takes, he wanted that fight.
Well, even when he won the belt, the first belt, you know, he went to New York. I mean, he really didn't have any. I'm not going to say he didn't have any business in New York, but you know, he likes staying local. Yeah. And he's like, you know what? I'll go wherever I'll go wherever I need to go to go.
Jose likes going all the way around the world. His promoter likes staying local.
I got it.
He does. Because when you stay local, you know, your bank account grows. And I get that from you know, Rick works his ass off. Plain and simple. They can say whatever they want about Rick. Me personally, you know, I don't know if we'll ever have a cup of tea, because at the end of the day, he'll probably want me to pay for it. But Rick works his ass off. He really does. He's good at what he does, and I give him that. Now, you know, I don't know, you know, if we'll share a flight together. You know, I mean, you know, maybe we will. Maybe he'll give me an earful on the blueprint and how to make some money and how to promote and
just like
how to get deals done.
2 aisles away. That's it. You know, it's just know you're on the same flight, but not on the same.
Well, I mean, I'll talk business with them all day long. I really will, but you know, sometimes we don't see eye to eye, or I think we do. I just don't know how to take that dude, man. I take it for what it's worth. But I can never be mad at that dude. He made it possible. They gave a 10 count for my son, Richie, and the whole thumbs up for Richie. And Save Mart Center, Jose had Richie onto his short, so that's something that I'll always be embedded with him and almost share a brotherhood type. So, but being that said, no, you know, Jose, you know, he has a tough fight. A lot of people, they think it's a cakewalk. It's not. It's been postponed 2 times already.
Right. And
Freddie's 0-2. He will love, I don't care what anybody says, Freddie will love to bring those bouts back to Wildcard Jim.
Not only that, you think about who Victor has fought. I mean, who he's
Victor's
fought
a tough cat,
and who
man.
he's lost against.
Exactly.
Crawford.
Yes.
Crawford is considered by many the top pound for pound guy in boxing, and he lost against him, you know?
You know what? When people ask me who do I compare Jose to, before I start comparing him to a fighter, I always think of Evander Holyfield, because I had the privilege and honor of watching Evander Holyfield in training camp for his rematch with Riddick Bowe. I've never seen a man, just his tenacity, his workouts. He didn't dog any, like in football you say, oh, he dogged a play. No, he didn't dog a workout at all. He worked very, very hard, and you saw the results. I watched Jose work, and there's a different type of engine inside of him.
Yeah, he's a worker.
He doesn't complain. He does what's asked of him to do, and he's very competitive. He loves to finish first, or beat his last score, or just beat himself. I mean, he works very hard for where he's at.
Yeah, and you never hear complaints about him in the gym.
No.
That he's not only punctual, but he shows up to work.
He does. He does. I mean, Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, along with the addition of Charles Trimley. Big shout out for Charles. And Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, traditionally they do things a certain way. So to accept the now Charles in there, not only just working with his fighters, but Robert to allow him to work with the other fighters that he has underneath his wing, it says a lot for the program that Charles offers, the results of the power and speed. Every time there's a knockout, I don't know who's more happy, if Charles or the fighter, because Charles knows he had something to do with increasing that power and that speed. And numbers don't lie, man. Statistics don't lie when it comes to results as far as your body. Now, as far as boxing numbers, I don't agree with, because it can be 500 jabs compared to 3 bombs. You know what I mean?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, let's just hope this doesn't get postponed again.
Oh, man.
Let's hope it finally happens.
August 29th, MGM Grand inside the bubble.
You know what? I don't even care.
Evan said it's happening, man. Evan said, you know what? It's going to happen. It's either inside the MGM Grand or the MGM Grand parking lot.
Let's put him in the bubble now.
Yeah,
Let's put him in there.
Put him in the bubble now.
Let's send the entire gym out there and put him in the bubble, man, and let's keep him there, because I want to see this fight. I want them to move forward.
There you go, man. Speaking of bubble, man, I'm waiting to hear back from Asuniga, Bernardo. We reached out to him, and he said, Richard, do me a favor. He said, send me an email so I can send it to my boss at ESPN. I said, absolutely, man. So we're just waiting. And Bernardo, I'll probably give you a text tomorrow, man. Speaking of tomorrow we have Mike Rodriguez, who's actually in the bubble this weekend for PBC. And, a lot of people know him best for the cut man of Manny Pacquiao. He'll be on the show, very informative. He stands his ground. He doesn't always agree with you. And I like that, because I don't want everybody agreeing with me. He has his own way of expressing himself, and if he's right, he's going to tell you and why.
He's calling from the bubble, huh?
No, actually he is. He's going to be in there. Yeah. So
who's he with this week?
Oh gosh, good question. My gosh.
Oh, I stumped you now, man.
Yes, you did. Well, I mean, we got the PBC fights coming on.
Yeah, we do. Well, that's
you know what? You never know who he's going to be with. You just put the TV on and you see him working a fighter. I wonder if he's going to be with Benavidez.
Well, wait. So he's PBC. So he's going to be East Coast.
He's everywhere. Yeah, he was there last week too.
He's going to be out in where are they doing that? Is that Connecticut? That they're doing that where Benavidez is fighting?
I believe so.
I think
I'm not too sure, Omar. That's
they got their own bubble out there, and I think I believe PBC also has a bubble here in LA, in Microsoft Theater.
Okay.
So there's going to be a bunch of fights. I think there's.
Well, we're in a bubble right now. We're recording right now
Kind of.
in the Mad Production bubble in Fresno, California. The fighter's voice, the only voice that matters. We're like David Benavidez. We're simply knocking out the competition.
Oh man, and I'll tell you what, I can't wait to watch that fight either. I don't care who he fights.
You know who I'm excited about? Rolly Romero.
That fight with him and Jackson Marinez, I believe.
Yes.
From the Robert Garcia gym. That I'm excited to see that.
That's going to be a good fight.
Because Rolly.
There he is, Jackson.
Yeah, there he is, Jackson Marinez. Rolly is a. Have you ever seen Rolly fight?
Yeah.
Yeah, Rolly is a. He's a little monster.
He's a monster. He's kind of wide with his punches. Since working with Mayweather, he's gotten a little tighter. Exactly. Because Mayweather will break you down. He'll see the little things inside your insole, your hips, your focus, your concentration, and what better teacher to have in your corner than Floyd Money Mayweather?
Exactly. But Jackson's got Robert Garcia gym behind him. He's, these guys coming out of the Dominican Republic, man. They're coming out of like nowhere.
Yeah.
And I'm excited to see that fight.
One thing I will say is and Lee Samuel said it best. He said, Richard, those that come out of Robert Garcia's Boxing Academy, they come out ready.
Yeah. They do, and I believe the last we spoke to Pita, we were talking about Jackson, and he says, yep, he showed up and he's ready to work. He's
exactly.
So him and Rolly should be a good fight, and
it is going to be a good fight.
And we'll see what happens with Rolly afterwards. We all know he has the beef with Ryan, so we'll see what happens after that.
You know what? Rolly's a good personal frame with Altibro and Andy Vincent.
Oh, Andy Vincent,
who I want to give a shout out, this week. And congratulations, Andy. I saw your post today. You'll be moving in January, your first home. And what he said is, my first dream home for my wife. I mean, and hey, that's a real man right there.
There you go.
And that keeps him pushing, and that keeps him being the man that he is today, man.
Is he still in San Jose?
Yeah, he's still in San
staying
Jose.
out there.
Yeah, exactly. And we know the prices in San Jose, man. It's a high cost of living, so. But it must be nice making that top rank money.
He's making that money.
And it's Shark Week too, so everything's going good for him.
Oh, Tyson's on there, right?
Yeah, Tyson's on there.
Mike Tyson's on there.
Yeah, Will Smith, they're all on there.
Speaking of Tyson, so you said you were going to talk about Tyson Fury.
Yes, Tyson
Let's do
Fury. Let's do it. Well, as you know, I mean, we're waiting for the trilogy with Deontay Wilder, and as you have it, he got word that rematch is not going to happen in 2020. He's very upset, very animated, not too happy because the man is a fighter and he wants to fight.
And he's always animated.
He doesn't want to be on a shelf.
Yeah.
So he's trying to work something out. Hey, Anthony Joshua, let's make this happen. If you want this as much as I want this, let's make it happen.
Well, Joshua's fighting Pulev, right? He's fighting Kubrat Pulev.
Well, that's all about numbers. That's all about step aside. I mean, if you got an opportunity for the mega fight, don't say, okay, well, I need another fight. Hey, are you who you say you are? And when I say that, Tyson Fury can say that because when he was offered the Deontay Wilder fight, you got to remember what he came back from.
Yeah.
Adversity, the weight loss. A lot of people counted him out. A lot of people, including some people in this building, didn't think that fight was going past 5 rounds.
Yeah,
and he took the fight.
Yeah, I totally saw a knockout the first time, and even in the 12th round when he dropped him, I was like, oh, that's it, it's over, And he gets right back up and actually beats Deontay the rest of the round,
Yeah, took it to him.
And then look what happened in the rematch. I mean, he completely destroyed him. I don't see Anthony Joshua beating him. I don't.
I don't. I can't see that happening unless it's just, suffers a cut, a headbutt, or something where he's handicapped during that fight. The best of Tyson Fury, I can see him beating the best of Anthony Joshua.
Yeah,
I really can.
I think the only advantage that Anthony Joshua has over Wilder is that he's naturally a bigger dude. Wilder's always been so slim.
And his punches are a little more crisp.
Yeah, they are.
Deontay Wilder's, he kind of overextended himself, but, when you have that and it works for you, why correct it? I mean, I know he's very off balance, but when he commits that right hand, that's why he has that power, because he puts everything into it. And puts his ass, his toes, everything.
Yeah. And I think for Deontay, it was only a matter of time before he lost. We saw what Luis Ortiz was doing to him, outboxing in both fights until the knockout came. Yeah. So I think he always depended on that power. Anthony Joshua also depends on the power, but I think his boxing skills are a lot better.
But if you look at all these fights, he was naturally the bigger man, or at least looking at a person that was at the same weight.
Yeah.
When Tyson Fury, he put that weight on for a reason.
Oh, he did.
He knows what he can carry. The first fight, he wanted to be elusive, be able to move around and give him angles. This second fight, he imposed his will.
Yeah,
I think he was the bully that night.
That Kronk gym, man, they told him, you know what, we need to beef you up a little bit, man.
Hey,
we need to beef you up a little bit. And that's exactly what he did. He just imposed everything on him.
That was a throwback from the Kronk gym. That would have been just so awesome if he would have came in with the old school Kronk shorts.
Can you imagine? If he would have came in with
gold
Tommy
with
Hearns
the red
with him and everything.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, Tommy Hearns was up there for that fight. But if he would have came in with Tommy Hearns and the rest of the freak, even Michael Moore, the body snatcher used to be a part of that.
I just miss Emmanuel Stewart, man. You imagine Emmanuel Stewart in that corner?
Bro, come
on.
You know what? I miss Emmanuel Stewart personally, honestly, and people can say what they want, but we used to talk on the phone.
Yeah,
we used to talk on the phone. From Detroit, and I remember one time it was Manny Pacquiao, Eric Morales. Mm-hmm. And Manny Pacquiao and Manny.
Which one? That way I get happy or not happy?
No, it's the first one.
Okay, then I'm happy.
Yeah,
then.
no, it was the first one. Because actually, Manny, I'll tell you a quick story leading up to that. Mm-hmm. It was the weigh-in, and you got to remember, Eric Morales missed the weigh-in the first time, the first attempt.
Right.
Yeah, the first attempt. And then some of the guys from the Philippines, they were yelling, "Too many tortillas," right? And then somebody from Eric Morales' corner said, "No, his balls are too heavy."
Oh yeah,
his balls are too heavy. But see,
it was true in that fight.
And they were just messing around with each other.
Yeah.
It had nothing to do with racism at all, because when Julio Cesar Chavez showed up, he showed up too. All the Filipinos, they all rushed him for autographs and what have you. Well, Emmanuel Stewart was there, and he said, Ortiz, look. And he had this old flip phone, and he's going through it. Doom, over and over and over again. He goes, look, showing me, look, I do have your number saved. It wasn't like the technology we have now.
On the old flip phone,
huh? Yeah, but he's showing me right there and there.
Yeah.
So, we should talk on the phone, man. He was,
Tell you, on the old flip phone he had you.
He was down to earth,
That made you important, man. If they had you on the flip phone, if you have you on the smartphone, it's like whatever. But they have you on the
Hey,
flip
I
phone,
was just
you're good to
happy
go.
he just knew my name.
Yeah,
and that
right.
We would talk, and he would trust me with his stories because he told me a lot of stories. Even about Michael Moore and Tommy Hearns never sparring. He wouldn't allow that. They were both. Even when Tommy moved up to light heavy, he would not allow him and Michael Moore to spar because he knew it would be a barn burner.
Man, it sucks to lose legends like that. We didn't talk about.
Well, they
when
never
we lost,
die. They never
we lost
die,
Nazim Richardson.
Yes,
Dude.
Yes, man.
Like-
I saw him just walking around in Las Vegas myself. As you know, he was on the Contender. He worked a lot of our local fighters. I think with Daniel Valdivia.
Chapulín.
Yeah, and also Madman Hernandez.
Yeah.
I mean, they were all in that camp in that house together, man. Yeah, another legend that's been gone. But now he's working the corner of Rocky Marciano and Muhammad Ali.
There you go. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't here last week, so we didn't talk about Nazim, but
Yeah,
man,
No, I don't want that to get overlooked either.
what a freaking legend. that
Yeah,
guy. I mean,
exactly.
dude,
He did it his way. He never changed.
I'll never. Obviously he's got all the history with Bernard and everybody, but I'll never forget the day he caught
executioner.
the day he caught Margarito with the wraps. I was at the fight, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I'm watching the fight. I didn't know that this had happened backstage. So Margarito comes out, and we're expecting a hell of a fight. Man, Mosley put an ass whooping on him.
He did.
Honestly, 9 rounds.
Honestly, like Nate Diaz, I was not surprised. Honestly, I was not. I was not surprised.
But it's almost like Nazim went back and told Mosley, "Hey, this guy was trying to cheat. He was trying to basically kill your ass in the ring. Go out there and
Mosley wanted that belt. He wanted that victory.
Dude, Mosley went out there and put an ass whooping from hell though, from the freaking start of the fight.
Now there's some more stories that go in that because some can say, well, okay, we'll have him pee in a cup.
Yeah,
And
that's true.
And I'll leave
That's
it at
true.
and I'll leave it at that.
Because they have the history with the De La Hoya fight, but this is true. This is true. So I guess we'll just move on.
You can't bullshit a bullshitter.
You can't, But Nazim,
You can't con a con man.
but he caught the reps. He caught the reps, and it's
that's
now
his,
history.
That's his job to do.
And that kind of ruined Margarito because now it went back to the Cotto fight.
Well, it has something to do with you mentally.
It does, yeah. And all of a sudden, when Margarito and Cotto fought the second time, Cotto was like, you know what? That's right. He didn't hit me as hard this time, So now there's so many doubts.
I never saw a fight where a man was so focused.
Yeah.
And so he just determined, and he just looked at him as if to say, dude, no, now we're on even ground. And it's out of his character to really punish you and belittle him.
Yeah.
That's not his character.
No.
But he was on that fence. He was about to.
You remember the end of the fight where Cotto just looked at him and he says he looked at him and felt nothing. Like I'm glad I'm glad you're over there with your eye closed.
Exactly. Anything that lives up to that beating, I'd have to think about Julio Cesar Chavez and Greg Hagen.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We were just talking
that?
about him last show. Yes, exactly.
Dude, there's so many people there too, right? Record-breaking crowd. Record-breaking crowd in Mexico.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
He said, take care of yourself because I'm going to punish you.
That's another beating right there.
It was another beating.
I think he could have taken him out sooner, but he's like, I'm going to whoop your ass a little longer.
Definitely. I think he carried him. I can see that he carried him. But, hats off to Greg Hagen, man.
Yeah.
I mean, he had those wars, those two fights with Hector Macho Camacho Sr. and the trilogies with Vinny Pazienda.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean...
Dude, speaking of this weekend, did you you follow this guy, right? The Israel Madrimov? He's at 150.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy's a freaking monster.
Yeah.
He's fighting this weekend. Have you seen his workouts?
No, I haven't really checked
Dude,
out
this
his
guy
workouts,
is
man.
working out with a 40-pound vest, doing backflips and shit. He's
man.
doing push-ups and backflips.
Very
and all kinds of-
agile.
Oh man, he is. That guy, he'll definitely have a belt by next year, hopefully.
You think so?
I think so. I think that guy is he is. They were talking about possibly making a fight with him and Erislandy Lara next year. So we'll see what happens there.
That'd be a good fight.
That
man.
would be a good fight.
That'd be a good fight. And that's actually a good test for him.
Lara though doesn't have the legs anymore. He doesn't have the legs anymore. Being
No,
that he's
not
in
no,
his
no.
mid 30s.
Yeah, not to be where he used to be.
And he went in through a few wars already with some people. Go
Real
ahead.
quick, what's your take on Edgar Berlanga?
Oh, they're saying that he might fight. The fight that just got canceled. Jorge Linares against. It was supposed to be Jorge Linares against Javier Fortuna. That fight just got canceled because Linares got COVID. And I believe did they bring up Berlanga? to replace him?
I don't know. It's hard to do that judging off one round every single fight.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this guy's knocking out people in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Of every fight.
I bring that up because I'm waiting for Evan to get back to me. When I
see.
asked him about him getting on the show, he said definitely. He said, let me know how this week looks. So, KP, once even if it's on a day that we're not airing, man, we got to definitely make that happen.
You gotta get him on.
Not yet. No, exactly. That's what we do here at the Fighters versus Omar.
If you're not airing,
we swing for the fences.
If you're not airing, you better come in and air.
Exactly. Exactly. No, we make it happen. Or we do our best. We do our best, and we satisfy the viewers, the fans, and the followers, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's what makes us different than anybody else. And speaking of that, man, I'm not throwing jabs at anybody, but Jet Blackwell, when you come on the Fighter's Voice, you're gonna feel just a little different. It's just like when you walk into a ring, and then you walk into a ring. So I'll let you be the judge, and that's not knocking anybody, man. But we can't wait to have both you and Frank Alamon in studio leading up to, Mike Tyson's fight, or just the experience that you had. And Fresno, California, the whole world wants to know exactly what's next for the Jet.
Let's bring him in.
Yeah, bring him in.
Bring him in, man. Set him
Bring him in.
right there.
Exactly. And let him feel the energy, man.
Let him take my chair. I'll sit.
I'll
sit on the floor.
Let him feel the energy, man. That's the whole thing.
Yeah, man.
Because we've had him as a guest when I was with 1680 AM, but it was about a year and a half ago, man.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
But,
down in the district.
Oh yeah, Tower District.
Down in the district.
That's right. You stopped by too.
I stopped by.
That's right.
I remember the aftermath.
Oh yeah.
When we grabbed a few drinks. And
Yeah. This was before Jose Ramirez was sponsored.
Yeah, exactly. I think he wasn't unified yet.
No, he wasn't unified yet.
Yeah.
Man, but he plans to be. And what? I'm excited about that because personally, I know he loves that beer. I know he loves that drink. And can you imagine being sponsored by something that you stand for? I mean, because he's sponsored with Nike and he loves Nike. He won't wear anything else.
He better not. Not now.
No.
He better put everything Nike.
No, but I heard he signed an Adidas glove. Yeah, to give it away. So I want to get that glove. I really never want anything signed like from them when they do contests. Leave that for the fans and stuff. But I do want that glove if he signed it.
Put it right here in the middle of the table.
Yeah, put it right here.
Right here.
Yeah, and Jose knows I've never asked him for anything, but we'll get something. We'll give away a beer that Jose gets or something.
So, anything.
Well, if we leave it up to Rick, see, Jose can pop open a beer, and like the cap. Yeah, Rick will auction it off. And he will. He'll make it happen too. He'll say, "You guys don't understand. This cap right here is brought to you by some," and he'll make it happen.
Oh,
man.
he's like those car salesmen.
Oh no, car salesmen too. Their mistake is they breathe. See, Rick doesn't breathe. He makes it happen. Dude, and he thinks I'm probably dogging him right now, and I'm not. I mean, he knows it. He said, "Richard, you're right." One time I had him on the show, and I said, "Rick, what do you dream about?" And you know what he said? "I don't dream." I'm like, okay. I go, come on,
I'll tell
man.
you what, man.
He said, "I don't dream."
I enjoy his back and forth on Twitter with people.
I do too. And you know what? Let me tell you this. I was feeling good, Omar. And, it only takes a couple to make you feel good. I was talking to him at Tachi Palace. We were engaged in a meeting, and I had a great proposal for him. I had a great idea. And I go, "Sit down." And he goes, "No." And on the seat there was a piece of lemon or a seed. And I just went, I go, "No, sit down. It's all clean now, man." And he just kind of looked at me like, this freaking dude. But I mean, he stood over the chair. He didn't sit down. But
was that one of the boxing days at Tachi?
Yeah, actually, I was telling him about. I'll go ahead and say it now.
Were you announcing?
No. Was I? I'm not sure if I was announcing that show. No. I wasn't announcing that show.
Mm-hmm.
I was announcing the show before. But I said, hey, let's have the Smoke Show take on the Beast.
Mm-hmm.
Since he's having trouble making 168s, let's have him make that fight happen. And he thought about it a while, but if it doesn't make sense or dollars, he's not going to really go with it. I think it would have been a good fight, but I mean, look what Blake's doing now. And Blake's a natural cruiserweight. He's not coming down to light heavy.
Yeah, and he like I said, I enjoy his Twitter wars with people, man. But it was a cool thing that he had going with Regis there for a while because they were going back and forth. They
respect each other.
Yeah, they do.
I got an old soundbite when I said, "Hey, what if Rick was here?" He goes, "I'll kick Rick's ass." So
Regis called in here before?
Yeah. Regis has been on the show numerous times. Been on the show when we were rocking in Stockton as well, and I had the opportunity to meet him face to face finally in Las Vegas, and he was cool people, man. I mean, he's down to earth. He's always "Hey, what's up, fam?" And he likes texting at 2:00 in the morning, which is okay. And he's always been solid with us.
What's he doing up at 2?
You know, I was creating, man, thinking of ideas, man, counting his money.
No, what's he? Oh, okay. What's he doing up at 2?
Yeah, exactly.
What are you doing up at 2?
Oh man, I'm always thinking of ideas. And
You just
what can we do to get better?
You just had a birthday, man. You should be
Every
taking a
single
nap.
day.
You should be asleep at
No, it's this whole month. This whole month.
It's a whole birthday
it's
month,
a whole
huh?
birthday month, man.
You got
and
it.
I'm enjoying it.
Man.
You know, got some apple juice and stuff, and you know, making it happen here on the Fighter's Voice.
That apple juice has a foam on top of it, though.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, it does. You know, I shook it a little bit. We need some more apple juice, man. But you know what? I'm excited about next Tuesday.
Mm-hmm.
Next Tuesday, we're gonna have the beautiful, the lovely. Who's gonna come in as a guest co-host. I'll just say it's just a beautiful breeze that'll be in studio, and you know, she knows her boxing. She wants to dive into it, and you know, hey, I love to give people the opportunity, the platform to be exposed, to expose themselves and show their talents, man. And we're going to have some big names coming up, and I'm excited. We got a great team. You know, whenever we get a compliment, I always bring it back because we have a great team. The production is on hit. Our guests, what we talk about, I make sure it's legit. We're not over here YouTubing or, you know, a lot of people, okay, well, let me Google it, man. Hey, you either know it or you don't.
It just flows. But
exactly.
Who is it? Are you not announcing yet, or what?
No, I just want to get confirmation. I mean,
Gotcha.
I kind of hinted earlier on the show, but I just want to get confirmation.
Yeah, okay.
I don't want to be one of those guys, hey, guess what? I'm ring-announcing this event and this event
yeah.
and then this event and this. I usually let everybody know when it's said and done, and it's already done already.
Right.
You know, those are those rookie moves that you do early in the game.
Well, wait, we have 7 days.
Hey, we got 7 days, man, and a lot can happen.
A lot can happen.
A lot can
We've
happen,
seen fights
man.
get canceled in 7 days,
Yes,
unfortunately.
Exactly. And you know what? I won't touch on it too much, but we got the trilogy. Daniel Cormier, he's fighting once again for the belt, man. The rematch.
How do you see that going, by the way? I did get to watch the last fight, and I saw it looked like he was winning the fight.
You know what, man? I'm going to say that for the expert, Escovedo.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
there you
going to
go.
tell you what I think, too. And, you know, we'll talk more about it tomorrow, man.
All right.
We'll talk more about it tomorrow.
For sure.
And that whole card, that's supposed to be fire, man.
Yeah. Are they? Where are they fighting at?
MGM Grand, I believe.
Oh, they are. They got their own bubble now.
Yeah.
Same bubble, probably.
Yeah, I believe it's there.
Because they're not doing the Fight Island anymore, are they? I think they.
No, I mean they experimented with it. I mean they put a lot of money into it, and you know they'll be using it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean they're going to make adjustments as they go. You got to remember, UFC, they went out there. Everybody was watching them to see how what the remedy was and the pros and cons, and then Top Rank they jumped right in there too.
Yeah.
So those are the guys who just jumped right in there, and the other guys kind of waited, and that's smart. You know, you want to wait and see what works and what doesn't. It doesn't have anything to do with what company's better or which one's stronger. Right now, they're all equal and they're all the same. It all depends on the fighters when they decide to show up and give the viewers, the fans, and the supporters exactly what they want.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah. So what do you got for us, man? Anything coming up, man? Any news?
You know, I think we covered all the fights for this Saturday. I don't know. I don't think we have anything else. Besides the upcoming fights and. Oh, you know what? I didn't ask you. I don't know if I asked you last time.
Yeah.
But the Spence Garcia fight had just been signed, I think, or hadn't been signed yet.
Yes.
And did we discuss that?
No, we haven't. I mean,
Okay.
we can discuss it some more into detail at the show because
Yeah.
there's a lot of ifs and buts, and my answer is going to surprise you. I think it will, and why, and how it's going to happen.
I think I know where you're going with that,
Hey,
but
man.
we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see what happens, man.
Yeah. That's in November,
Yes.
correct? All right, cool. And we also didn't discuss how much time we got? Are we off already?
No, we can flow right now.
We didn't discuss really quick the Loma and Lopez fight, how it was.
Right now, they're negotiating because, you know, like Bob Arum said it best. I can't afford to lose money on this, but that's what Loma's camp is going to have to, if they really want the fight, to say, hey, let's give and choose. Let's renegotiate. Let's make this happen. The numbers, they got to match. I don't see him taking money out of his own pocket. But what's the use of not giving up 3.5 that you already have, which is a lot right now with this coronavirus, compared to nothing?
Well, the latest is that Loma is giving up some of his purse and
Okay, well, there you
giving
go.
it to Tio.
That says
That
a
is
lot.
the latest, and
That says a lot. That means I really want this fight.
they
as well.
are really moving forward. It
Oh, good.
shows a lot of confidence from Loma's side. I think it would have been cool if they would have said, hey, the winner takes this much more, you know? They could have done.
Yeah, well, there's certain rules like UFC
Right,
does.
right,
know?
right.
Like a lot of these contracts, they don't know how, you know, a lot of them will get, you know, a lot of fighters that I know, they'll get, okay, 30-30, which means, okay, 30, that you're guaranteed another 30 if you win.
And 30 you win, yeah. So it's like a 60,
Yeah.
60-40, yeah. So like I said, the latest is
In
that
boxing, you're dealing with bigger numbers. They want to
Huge
make sure
numbers.
anything
Huge
can happen
numbers.
in boxing. You can sneeze and get knocked out. I mean, just by not focus, and
Right.
then you got your family's, your livelihood there. So they're
So-
not going to be risking that.
So that's the latest. That Loma's giving up some of his person so they can transfer.
Well, see, I was leading up. That's what
Yeah.
he needs to do, but I
Yeah.
didn't think he would want to do that. But him wanting to do that shows, hey, let me shut this guy's mouth.
Exactly.
That's easier said than done. That is going to be a good fight.
And that's still scheduled for October 3rd as we speak. So
it needs to happen.
yeah, it does.
So,
I can't.
so we can move on. There's a lot of moving parts in that division too.
Yeah, no, and, Lopez is such a big guy for that division that
Yeah.
he needs to make that fight now before he moves up.
By next Tuesday or even by tomorrow, I'm going to see if we have a date for, because I know Team Flores, they're getting ready to announce their next fight date.
Okay.
Dad was hinting on what they wanted to do and what's their next move. They told me personally, which I'm not going to mention on the microphone, exactly who they want, exactly who his son wants to fight. And I will say this, he is a world champion.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, we'll talk after him. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for viewing in and thank you for subscribing to our YouTube, www.youtube.com/thefightersvoice. Every fighter has a voice and so do you. Don't forget to press the like button. We appreciate that. Spread the word. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to be bringing fight news back to you tomorrow with Escovedo. We're going to break down the whole UFC card and also talk some boxing and also talk about his relationship with the beast, Blake McCurlin. I'm your host, Richard Ortiz of The Fighter's Voice. I want to thank my man Omar for joining us today and for the cold beverage here.
Anytime.
Yes, exactly. And Jose Ramirez for we've been thinking about you, man, since you signed that Corona deal. So it's a wrap here in Fresno, California. Thumbs up for Richie.
Never down for the count. It's just another wrap. Thanks for listening to the Fighter's Voice Radio Show. Catch us again next week. Same when, same how. And always stay connected to the Fighter's Voice on social media. So, on behalf of Richard Ortiz, Escovedo, our special guests, and the whole crew right here at the Fighter's Voice Radio Show, saying see ya next week, right here on the Fighter's Voice.